A hidden chamber. These words echo with power. They speak of secrets sealed away for thousands of years. They awaken a deep curiosity within us all. What did the ancient builders of Egypt hide from the world? What message, what treasure, what truth? This is not just a question of history. It is a question that touches the human spirit. It reminds us that the past is not dead. It is alive, and it can still speak to us, if only we have the patience and the wisdom to listen to its whispers from the stones. The Great Pyramid has always been a place of mystery. For centuries, explorers, scholars, they have crawled through its narrow passages. They have stood in awe within its grand chambers. Many believed that we had found everything there was to find. They thought the pyramid had given up all its secrets. But the pyramid is more clever than that. It holds its truths close. It waits for the right moment and the right technology to reveal another piece of its magnificent puzzle to the world. This discovery of a new void, a new empty space, is a humbling moment. It proves that even after all this time, we know so little. The pyramid stands as a testament to the genius of my ancestors. They were not just builders of stone, they were masters of engineering, astronomy, and symbolism. Every block, every passage, every chamber was placed with a purpose. To find a new, unknown space within this perfect structure is to be invited into their minds, to try and understand the logic of a world that existed more than 4,500 years ago. The very idea of an undiscovered room inside the most famous monument on Earth is cinematic. It feels like a story from a film. But this is not fiction. This is real science and real archaeology coming together. It is a slow, careful investigation. It is a journey into the heart of the pyramid without moving a single stone. This discovery reminds us that the age of exploration is not over. There are still wonders to be found, not on distant planets, but right here on Earth, buried deep within the legacy of our own past. So, how did we find something that has been hidden for so long? The answer lies in a remarkable project called Scan Pyramids. This was an international mission, bringing together scientists and experts from Egypt, France, Japan, Canada. Our goal was simple, yet incredibly ambitious: to peer inside the pyramids without causing any damage. We wanted to use modern technology to create a map of the pyramid's internal structure. This is what we call non-invasive archaeology. It is the future of our field, allowing us to protect our heritage while we explore it. The project began in 2015 under the authority of the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities. The team brought a suite of advanced tools to the Giza Plateau. The idea was to use different technologies to scan the pyramid from multiple angles. If different methods all pointed to the same anomaly, the same strange spot, then we could be more confident that we had found something real. This was not a treasure hunt. It was a scientific investigation conducted with the slow, methodical patience that the pyramids themselves teach us. We were looking for truth, not gold. The key technology used was muon tomography. Muons are tiny particles that are created when cosmic rays from outer space hit the Earth's upper atmosphere. They rain down on us all the time, passing through almost everything. Think of them as a natural cosmic X-ray. By placing special detectors inside and around the pyramid, scientists could track the path of these muons. If the muons passed through solid stone, fewer of them would reach the detector. If they passed through an empty space, a void, many more would get through. Over many months, the detectors collected data. Millions upon millions of muon events were recorded. Slowly, a picture began to emerge. The data from detectors placed in the Queen's chamber and outside the pyramid began to show a significant excess of muons coming from a specific area. This area was located high above the Grand Gallery. It was a large, linear anomaly. The data was telling us that there was a large, empty space right in the heart of the pyramid, a space that no one had ever seen before. In 2017, the world learned of what we called the Scan Pyramid's Big Void. Muon scanning was the star of the show, but it was not the only tool we used. A successful investigation is like building a case in court. You need multiple lines of evidence. To support the Muon data, the Scan Pyramids team also employed other cutting-edge technologies. One of these was infrared thermography. This technique uses special cameras to detect tiny differences in temperature on the surface of the pyramid stones. An empty space or a different type of material inside the pyramid can affect the temperature of the outer stones as they heat up during the day and cool down at night. The team performed these thermal scans at sunrise and at sunset. The results showed some interesting thermal anomalies on the pyramid's surface, hinting at different structures within. While not as conclusive as the muon scans for deep voids, this method helped build a more complete picture of the pyramid's construction. It was another piece of the puzzle. Another clue that the internal structure was more complex than the simple diagrams we had known for so long. It showed us where to look more closely. Another powerful tool was three-dimensional modeling and simulation. Using lasers using drones, the team created incredibly detailed digital models of the pyramid, both inside and out. These models were accurate to within a few centimeters. Once we had this digital twin of the pyramid, we could place the data from the muon scans and thermal scans directly onto it. This allowed us to visualize the location and scale of the hidden void in relation to the known chambers. We could see that it was about 30 meters long, located directly above the Grand Gallery, and had a similar cross-section. Finally, to get a closer look at a smaller anomaly found near the pyramid's entrance, the team used a tiny drone, or endoscope. After getting permission to drill a very small hole through the mortar between two stones, they were able to insert a camera. This confirmed the existence of a smaller corridor just behind the north face. This combination of tools, muons for deep scanning, infrared for surface clues, three-dimensional models for visualization, robotics for close inspection, represents a new era of archaeology. We are becoming technological explorers, mapping ancient worlds without disturbing them. The discovery of this hidden void is more than just a curiosity. It has profound implications for historians. It has profound implications for engineers. It forces us to ask new questions and rethink what we thought we knew about the Great Pyramid. For historians, for Egyptologists, why did the builders create this massive, inaccessible space? Was it part of a larger, unknown ritual plan? Could it be another burial chamber, perhaps a symbolic one that was never meant to be entered? For engineers, the discovery is equally fascinating. Building the Great Pyramid was one of the most ambitious construction projects in human history. The builders had to solve immense logistical and structural challenges. One of the biggest challenges was managing the incredible weight of the stones, especially over the roofs of the internal chambers. We already know they used clever techniques. Above the king's chamber, there are 5 small stress-relieving chambers that distribute the weight of the pyramid's core and prevent the chamber's ceiling from collapsing. This was a brilliant engineering solution. This new void, located directly above the Grand Gallery, might be another one of these solutions. The Grand Gallery has a complex and delicate corbelled roof. It is possible that the builders intentionally left this long void above it to reduce the pressure on that roof. If this is true, it shows an even more sophisticated understanding of structural mechanics than we previously credited them with. It would mean the void is not a chamber for a person or for objects, but a functional part of the pyramid's architectural skeleton. It would be a testament to their practical genius. Ultimately, the void matters because it challenges our assumptions. It reminds us that the Great Pyramid is not a static monument that we have fully understood. It is a complex machine, a dynamic structure with secrets still locked inside. Whether its purpose was structural, religious, or something else entirely, finding out will give us a priceless insight into the minds of the ancient Egyptians. It will help us understand how they thought, how they built, and what they believed. This is why we must continue to study it. with respect, and with the best tools science can provide. We really must be careful and curious. As with any great discovery, the news of the hidden void sparked a lively debate among experts around the world. Not everyone agrees on what the data means. This is a healthy and necessary part of the scientific process. Some Egyptologists were immediately convinced that the Scan Pyramids team had found something significant. Engineers were immediately convinced that the Scan Pyramids team had found something significant. Mehdi Tayyubi, one of the founders of the project, has stated that the void is so big and that the data is clear. He and his team point to the consistency of results from different muon detection techniques. That consistency, they say, makes the existence of the void a certainty. Other experts, however, have urged caution. Some geologists have suggested the anomaly might not be a single, large chamber. Engineers, skeptical, have suggested the anomaly might not be a single, large chamber. Instead, it could be a series of smaller gaps, or it could be a section of the pyramid built with less dense material, or it could be rubble-filled pockets. They argue that muon scans show density, not an architectural drawing. They believe calling it a chamber might be premature. They believe calling it a room might be premature. They want to see more data. They want scans from different angles. They want even more advanced scanning techniques before firm conclusions. My own view, as someone who has dedicated his life to the sands of Egypt, is one of excited optimism tempered with scientific patience. I have always said that the pyramids have not revealed all their secrets. I believe this is a major discovery. The science is strong. However, we must proceed with the utmost care. The Great Pyramid is a treasure of humanity. We cannot simply drill a hole into it to satisfy our curiosity. Any further investigation must be planned meticulously. Any further work must put preservation of the monument above all else. Archaeologists also bring a cultural perspective to the debate. Some remind us many tombs have hidden or sealed off ritual chambers. They suggest the void could be a symbolic space, never intended to hold anything physical. Others point out it may have been emptied by tomb robbers in antiquity. Engineers focusing on structure. Physicists focusing on the data. Archaeologists focusing on cultural context. All these voices are important as we try to understand what Khufu's builders left for us. Well, it's complex and, worth the careful scrutiny. With the existence of a large void now widely accepted, the great mystery becomes, what was it for? There are several leading theories, each offering a different window into the minds of the ancient Egyptians. Each possibility is fascinating, and at this stage, we must consider them all. The simplest and perhaps most likely theory is that the void is purely structural. It is a stress-relieving space, designed to protect the grand gallery below it. This makes perfect engineering sense and fits with other known features of the pyramid. A second related theory is that the void was a construction corridor. Building the grand gallery was an incredible feat. Some engineers propose an internal ramp or corridor to haul the massive granite blocks into place. Once complete, that corridor would have been sealed off at both ends, leaving an empty space behind. The void would then be a byproduct of the construction process, a ghost of scaffolding. This theory could tell us so much about how they actually built the pyramid. A third, more thrilling possibility is that the void has a ritual or symbolic purpose. The pyramid was a religious monument, its architecture full of symbolism. The void could be a hidden chamber intended to house a second sarcophagus for the king, perhaps a statue of his Ka or the king's spirit. It might be a symbolic passage for the king's soul on its journey to the afterlife. In this view, the chamber was never meant to be entered by the living. Its inaccessibility was part of its sacred function. This connects the architecture directly to Egyptian theology. Finally, the theory that captures everyone's imagination, the void as a hidden chamber containing sealed artifacts. The stuff of movies, an untouched room filled with funerary objects, tools, even papyri that could rewrite history. While we must be realistic, most tombs were looted. The possibility, however small, is electrifying. Could we find the real funerary equipment of Khufu? Could there be texts explaining how the pyramid was built? We do not know. For now, these are just theories, waiting for the day when science can give us a clearer answer. So, yeah, we wait and investigate. The discovery of the hidden void in the Great Pyramid of Giza is a profound moment in the story of our human past. It has pulled back a curtain, just a little, revealing that the world's most studied monument can still surprise us. With new tools and a spirit of respectful inquiry, we can continue to learn from the ancients. Our conversation with that ancient world is not over. A new chapter has begun, whispered through cosmic rays and dense stone. This journey proves the power of international collaboration and the promise of non-invasive science. We have seen into the heart of the pyramid without drilling, without hammering, without disturbing the pharaoh's rest. This is the way forward for archaeology. We must be guardians of the past, not destroyers. Use our intelligence and technology to preserve treasures for future generations, while still seeking the knowledge they hold. The pyramid demands this respect. What lies inside this secret space? An engineering marvel to relieve weight, a lost corridor left by the builders, a sacred chamber sealed for eternity? We don't yet have the answer. Maybe the journey matters as much as the answer. It pushes us to innovate. It forces cross-cultural collaboration. It inspires a new generation of scientists, engineers, historians to look at the past with wonder. For now, the Great Pyramid holds its secret close. It stands on the desert plateau for 45 centuries, watching sunrises and sunsets as a silent guardian. The void is a reminder, masterpiece of ingenuity and an enduring mystery. We can measure and scan it, but perhaps never fully understand. Between what we know and what we don't lies the pyramid's magic. Until it's opened, the Great Pyramid remains both a masterpiece and a mystery. Well, that's where we are, and, the story continues.